What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 for my Hardcore Dryad series. We are all done with mastery now. We're at the incursion portion of the quest line, which is super rewarding. You get a bank vault and a burning strike shard along with 300,000 gold. However, I am not going to do this one. I am instead going to jump right on into my progression. Now, I would encourage anyone who is playing through this one to complete the new player quest line. That is the last quest in the chain, but since this is a throwaway account, I really don't care about getting the free bank vault, although that is something that you will want to do if you are playing through the game as a brand new player. Now, we are at the point now where we've got Chaos 6 unlocked. We were able to skip Chaos 5, and we're going to try to get our first Chaos 6 win. So our objective here, of course, is to get to 5,300 champion score to get to Chaos 7. Now, what map you choose in Chaos 6 is very important, particularly in this setup. As you see, the new Chaos enemy is the Hex Thrower. Now, Hex Throwers have crazy range. They throw spears that then, in turn, curse your defenses. Now, they are going to aim at our blockades, so we need to make sure to place our trees in a position where they're not going to get thrown at by Hex Throwers. Now, one map that I'm going to be utilizing quite a bit for the remainder of this series is, without a doubt, going to be the Jack Sparrow. The Jack Sparrow just offers a ton of DU, and it goes real well with the Dryad as you get some placements that allow those bees to go right through the terrain and hit enemies. Let's get it going. All right, so as I mentioned, we get that super generous amount of DU. We got 2,000 DU on this one. The only area of major concern for me is probably this lane. We need to place trees in a fashion that's going to allow us to get some bees down without getting Hex Throwers all over them. So I'm going to try out something like this. We're going to put our trees off to the side there like that. And then we, of course, are using Chaos 5 bees with Fire Servo, that Go Boom Boom, and Power Servo. We're also going to use some Chaos 4 slimes. We do have that Mass Destruction now since we finished the 10 Mastery maps. So we do get that Mass Destruction double stack in, which is going to be incredible. So let's see, what can we do? I can't really get a slime down here, but I can stack a bunch of bees there. So let's go something like that. And then something like this maybe. I have to move this tree. Move this tree up just a little bit. We'll put it like right there. And we're going to be relying pretty heavily on bees there. Now, what can I do if I put a tree? Yeah, we just don't have quite enough range. I actually can go with a tree like behind these boxes. Now, the problem with putting the trees here is if the Hex Throwers aim at the tree and it hits the rail, it's going to curse the ground around it, which in turn is going to curse our slimes. And we do want to get some slimes in. That's going to remedy any Drakenlord issues. So let's go with something like that for right at the start. Now, over here on this lane, we've got it a little bit easier as the enemies already have line of sight blocked. So when the enemies spawn, they're going to be down below here. They're not going to be able to throw like at these trees if I put trees around something like that. Now we can get some slimes right up in their face on this one, which is quite nice. And then, of course, get some of this hornet's nest in as well. Now I do want to place some hornet's nest for flyers also. So we're just going to throw, let's just throw like a couple of bees right there. And we'll throw a couple of bees right here. These guys will double dip. They're going to get down into the lanes, but then they're also going to be in range of the flyers when they roll in. And then now we got the downstairs. The downstairs is the easy part and the hard part. The hard part is periodically, not every time, but periodically, Cobalt flyers in Chaos 7 will dive bomb the core from down below. Additionally, sometimes Hex throwers will throw at the core from down below. So since we're playing a hardcore playthrough, if we lose, then the playthrough is over. Which means we want to not lose, right? So we are taking a little bit of a risk there in that regard. We can just throw a tree like right there and one right there, and that will allow us to get proper slimage and some bees in. We're going to throw those slimes just right there on the stairs. Let them get going on the enemies as quickly as possible. We're going to throw a couple more slimes, say right there. And then we're just going to bee and Nimbus it up. I'll probably throw some Nimbus in too. We've got a Chaos 4 Nimbus going. No usable mods on this one. Destruction and defense rate are the only two shards we're really going for. But you see, we've got damn near 1,000 DU left. So we've got a ton left to do whatever we want to do. So let's just slap a bunch of stuff down. Let's go 7 bees there. We'll do the same thing over here. Go with 7 bees. And then we can even throw... I mean, we still have 500 more DU left. We can throw a couple of Nimbus in there. Let's throw a couple of Nimbus in here. In fact, you know, we might even want to just throw a couple up here too, just because why not? Let's throw a couple there and a couple there and try to make it so we can ignore this lane. All right, now I feel like that's going to be pretty solid. You know, Dungeon Defenders 2 is all about collecting shards, though, and I'm getting to a point where my hero is going to be a lot more useful, but I don't have a whole lot of shards. So, not necessarily in tremendously good shape there. Let's just let it fly and see how it goes here. Now, we are going to get plenty of... we'll get plenty of upgrades in as we progress through this one. But let's just see how it goes. This is a big jump. Basically going from Chaos 5 all the way up. Going from Chaos 5 right to Chaos... We're going from Chaos 4 right to Chaos 6. Skipping Chaos 5 altogether. We will want to get lots of stars thrown to make sure we can hopefully get through this one. So far, so good, but of course, this is only wave 1. Now, we will get a Chaos 6 amp, assuming that we beat this map, which means we're going to be able to upgrade that Hornet's Nest up to Chaos 6, which will be a nice power gain. All right. So we got through it. Let's see, where our boss is going to be up top. It is a captain. I think with the boss up here, we want to prioritize this area maybe. Throw a bunch of upgrades around. Well, I'm going to hit the trees too, just to give them a little bit more health. Right, I think that is pretty decent. Throw a couple more upgrades in the middle here. Well, let's get started back up. We'll just let it fly here, and you know, ideally we get up there and get at least a petrify going on the captain. We're also going to have some assassins started next wave, which means death could be imminent. But we need to make sure our defenses are going to hold out, since we may not be alive through the entirety of the waves. These slabs are going all over the place. Crazy, huh? That's weird. The slimes right here are not attacking. Might want to move those up. We've got some kind of issue going here with the targeting. All right, here comes the captain. All right, the captain just got walloped. So I didn't even have to worry about running up there for the captain. So that's a good thing. Yeah, we'll move these slimes back to the top of the stair. Something just a little wonky there with their AI. Not wanting to go down the stairs. Let's put these right at the top of the stairs here. Hopefully that will resolve it. Give them a couple of upgrades. Get a few upgrades on these bees too. And then let's just do the same thing here. Just to make sure. I didn't look at this lane, but there could be a problem on this side as well. All right. Let's load up on stars. What do we have for bossery this time? We got Griblock. Yeah, we got old Gribs over here. So there's going to be a bunch of... Actually, I think Gribs might get wrecked. Let's just go ahead and let it fly. We'll drop a few more stars at the start of the wave here, but so far so good. Now we're going to have the assassins coming, though. I haven't had to participate a whole lot so far, which is a good thing if I do have any assassin deaths. I'm going to try to stay inside the tree there. Yeah, they are still just not really functioning properly here. These guys, too, are just kind of weirding out. There's it's Quibbly, not Griblock. Okay, here come our assassins. Alright, assassins weren't a problem. We do have a Slakelion up top. He died right away. Some, going from Chaos 3 boots. Those, you know, we'd lose a little bit of hero, or a little bit of hero damage. But, I mean, I'm tempted just to throw those on. What do we got here? That's a little bit of a health gain there. Let's go ahead and use that one. Yeah, these slimes are kind of not cooperating here. I wonder... Yeah, we're too far outside of the tree range here. I think we're just going to have to tough it out. It'll be a last resort if we get any Drakenlords or whatever from downstairs. But let's just continue to upgrade a few of these bees. Just going to kind of spam the upgrades around now. And then what was this? We got a fairly decent starter relic. In fact, it's got Gobu Boom on it. That would be a pretty big upgrade for... well, let's throw it on the Nimbus. That'd be a pretty nice upgrade there for that Nimbus. Alright, who do we got up top? Got another Skelly up top. Thinking I need to start off up there. Let's get a bunch more stars down. Alright, let's start off up here so we can kill that Slakelion. And this lane, the slime's just pounded out. You do really good there. A light upgrade there on that one. Fairly smooth sailing this run for it to be a first go at Chaos 6. We got Tuskar and another Slakelion. And then Assassins galore, of course. So we're going to have, at least the Slakelions are both in one spot. So we can just take them both out at the beginning of each wave. We've only got one more wave. And it's GG's. So we're so far so good through this one. Of course, doing higher difficulty content, we're going to be earning more XP. Oh no, a Cannon Ogre. Ooh. Jeez. The Cannon Ogre could be bad news. Got Sniper Warbleed as well, but we got him. I think I'm going to need to get back up there for that Cannon Ogre. I didn't even look at the other bosses. Alright, we got a Siege Roller too, which the Siege Roller is going to go slow. Alright, that Cannon Ogre got slapped. That's awesome. The Cannon Ogre, of course, would one-tap my trees, no doubt. Alright, Assassins are down. Oh no, a World Tree is down. Looks like all we've got is the Cannon Ogre. One other enemy. These Siege Rollers got a little healthy all of a sudden, compared to what I'm used to. Might want to switch over to ability power here. Getting a good ability power build going would certainly make dealing with those Siege Rollers just trivial. But there we go. There is our very first Chaos 6 win. So good stuff there. Let's see what we got in the box. We got the dagger, not stopping. Not one of the hottest mods in there in the pirate mod rotation. But we did get Chaos 6 amps. And like I mentioned, we got that first win. So let's auto collect the loot and see what that does for our champion score. All right, so we got another Chaos 1 shard. We got Shroom Doom. We got a usable shard. What the heck? And then Gathering Burst. That one's not going to do anything for us. I think we're going to go right into the champion score on this one. So let's go over to our mule. And didn't get a big gain off that. Up to 4248. Of course, we got a ways to go to get Chaos 7 unlocked. We got to be at 5300. So good little clip there. We're going to have to do more Chaos 6 runs. Maybe we'll even dip into survival and try to get some of those survival shards. But that will do it for this episode, though. So thanks a ton for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.